Everybody, the bedbug guy is here, and today I want to talk about one of those things that keeps getting passed around to me, and it's all over the social media because I often say, hey, if you know something I don't know, send it my way. And that is this rash of social media posts and theories, and including some YouTube videos about the marine fossils that have been found at the pyramids of Giza. And of course, they say this proves that the pyramids were either built before the Great Flood and spent a lot of time underwater, or they're even older than that. This proves some unknown civilization built them, or that extraterrestrials were involved. Now, anybody that knows me watches the videos, you'll know that while I believe there are plenty of structures, even in Egypt, that point to a lost civilization's influence, the pyramids are not one of them. So, but when we get into the age of these fossils, that theory may go asunder. And then, of course, this would prove that aliens built them. You know, ancient alien astronauts give a resounding yes. The bedbug guy, not so sure. Let's take a look at it. Now, the first thing they say is, in relation to these marine fossils, is that this proves Dr. Schock's work on the Great Sphinx, that proves that, you know, what he's saying about the erosion patterns is true, that this must be way older because of the erosion. Anybody who's saying that, be very careful. I'm familiar with Dr. Schock's work because I happen to be on board with the Sphinx being way older. He specifically says the erosion is caused by precipitation. That's falling rain, which would have been about 10,500 years ago the last time that happened. Not being submerged. Being submerged is going to be a whole different animal. Okay? Now, so the first question I ask, is this true? Are they finding ancient marine fossils? Well, as it turns out, yes. It's actually very, very common. And during my research, I found two things. One is the original article that talks about this. This is in the Economic Times. It's from April 26th, 2008. And it was a study conducted by the University of the Aegean and the University of Athens about marine fossils in Egypt. Okay? And as it turns out, there are tons of marine fossils in Egypt. Very common, especially when it comes to the pyramid and the Giza Plateau and several other places in Egypt. As a matter of fact, Khufu's pyramid, the limestone is made up of about 40% of a marine fossil called a numalite. Something like a coin is what it means. And up to 40% of the block's compositions is this creature. Well, here's the thing. This numalite lived during the Eocene period about 55.8 to 33.9 million years ago. Okay? They also found that it's very common to find seashells, sea urchins, other marine fossils dating from that period. But not once in the article do they say that this means that they were built before and then submerged underwater. What they're saying is about 50 million years ago to about 25 million years ago, all of Egypt was at the bottom of an ocean. Now, if these were submerged for several million years, you wouldn't even know there was pyramids or a sphinx there. So that automatically shoots that they're not that old. There's no way. So what do these fossils around the pyramids prove? It definitely proves one absolute fact, that the pyramids and the Sphinx are built almost entirely out of limestone from the Giza Plateau. There's a little bit of granite in there. We don't count that. And as it turns out, if we look in this gsa.gov about the composition of limestone, that limestone, and I will quote, is a sedimentary rock composed principally of calcium carbonate, or the double carbonate of calcium and magnesium. It is commonly composed of tiny fossils, shell fragments, and other fossilized debris. These fossils are frequently visible to the unaided eye on close examination of the stone surface. However, it's not always the case. Some varieties of limestone have an extremely fine grain. Now, that's true because the core of the pyramids is built with limestone from the Giza Plateau, which is loaded with ancient marine fossils. And then it's encased in Tura, which is a very fine-grained limestone, which is why it's smooth and gleaming. So, next time you see this post, just think to yourself and remember that, yes, there are ancient marine fossils all over the Giza Plateau and embedded in any of the Giza monuments, because that's what they're made out of. This has nothing to do with the time of construction. They weren't submerged underwater. However, the Giza Plateau definitely was several million years ago and had a bunch of marine life die directly on top of it. And it made limestone. Okay? So, that's it. Please stop passing this one around to me. I've looked into it. It's somebody clickbaiting everybody, because honestly, I don't really see any of the big named lost civilization researchers not even mentioning this, and the ancient aliens folks, for the most part, aren't mentioning it. It's not real. So we'll move on. Thanks for stopping by. Please give me a subscribe. Just want to get a few more so that I can live stream with a few of my buddies. It'll be a whole lot more interesting. Trust me. Anyway, thanks for stopping by and watching till the very end. Bye-bye now.